Welcome to the Instant Trivia Podcast, episode 1836, where we ask the best trivia on the internet. Let's get started. In Greek mythology, who was the mother of Achilles? Thetis. Which bird, once abundant in North America, was declared extinct in the early 20th century when the last known individual died in captivity in 1914? Passenger pigeon. Which influential post-impressionist artist, known for his bold colors and experimental use of form, died in 1903? Paul Gauguin. What is the more common term for someone described as a National Socialist? Nazi. Except for the last two segments, how many legs does a centipede have on each body segment? 2, 1 pair. Which famous ship is traditionally said to have set sail on November 25, 2348 BC? Noah's Ark. Which American World War II general died in Germany in December 1945 from injuries sustained in a car crash? George S. Patton. What sign of the zodiac is represented by twins? Gemini. Which historical figure, 356 to 323 BC, is tattooed on tennis player Mark Philippoussis' right shoulder? Alexander the Great. What phenomenon explains the change in pitch of a train whistle as it approaches and then moves away from an observer? The Doppler effect. What management technique is commonly and informally abbreviated as MBWA? Management by walking around. What does an arachnophobe fear? Spiders. What is the name of the iconic bridge that connects San Francisco and Oakland? Answer: San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge, commonly called the Bay Bridge. In which 1994 film does Marcellus Wallace play a pivotal role in a series of interwoven stories about crime and redemption? Pulp Fiction. Which prominent Palestinian leader, who led the Palestine Liberation Organization from 1969 until his death in 2004, was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1994? Yasser Arafat. What do we call a crack or fracture in the Earth's surface, usually created by movement of the Earth's crust? Fissure. How many sides does an enneadecagon have? 19. In the Arabian Nights, what is the name of the giant bird of prey said to be able to carry off elephants? Roc, also spelled Rook. Which Italian dictator was known by the nickname Il Duce? Benito Mussolini. Which celebration, founded in 1966, honors African heritage and cultural values with a week-long festival that emphasizes community and family unity? Kwanzaa. Which film features the line, "Mrs. Robinson, you're trying to seduce me, aren't you?" The Graduate. In culinary terms, what technique refers to cutting vegetables into thin strips? Julienne. Which legendary New York Yankee hit 536 home runs during his career? Mickey Mantle. In fitness, what does the acronym BMI stand for? Body Mass Index. Which city in Kansas is home to the Old Cowtown Museum, showcasing the history of the American West? Wichita. Which branch of biology is concerned with the study of tissues? Histology. In what year was HRH Prince Charles formally invested as Prince of Wales? 1969. Which author, known for her powerful autobiographical works, wrote the memoir All God's Children Need Traveling Shoes? Maya Angelou. Which American poet wrote the poem The Village Blacksmith, celebrating the life and work of a small-town blacksmith? Answer: Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Which Native American nation developed a syllabary that enabled them to create written literature and publish newspapers in their own language? Cherokee. How is an akshakuturta notated in sheet music? As a small grace note with a slash through its stem. What is the medical process that mimics the natural function of the kidneys to remove waste and excess fluid from the blood? Dialysis. In Icho, what territory did the United States offer to buy for $1 million? Greenland. What U.S. state is nicknamed the Evergreen State? Washington. Which country's native name translates as Land of the Eagles? Albania. Which book by Isak Dinesen reflects her experiences living in Kenya? Out of Africa. Which British explorer successfully prevented scurvy on his long Pacific voyages by insisting his crews eat fresh fruits, vegetables, and other antiscorbutic foods? Captain James Cook. Which unsolved 1947 Los Angeles murder became one of the most infamous in American history, involving a young woman found gruesomely mutilated in a vacant lot? The Black Dahlia, Elizabeth Short. In the title of Mozart's opera, what gift is given to Prince Tamino? The Magic Flute. In which novel, narrated by the character Stingo, does he recount a woman's harrowing experiences during World War II, including an impossible choice? Sophie's Choice. Which film series features the bumbling detective Inspector Jacques Clouseau? The Pink Panther. In machining, a die cuts external threads for a screw. What tool cuts internal threads for a nut? Tap. Which bird is known for drumming on trees and excavating bark to find insects? Woodpecker. Which small village near Calcutta was the site where the first hollow-nosed rifle bullets were manufactured? Dum Dum. Which artist is the subject of the book The Agony and the Ecstasy, which explores his life and work during the Renaissance? Michelangelo. Which territory's boundary, disputed between the United States and Canada and rooted in an 1821 agreement between Russia and Britain, was settled by arbitration in 1903? Alaska. Which influential political document, published in 1848, called on the working class to rise up against the bourgeoisie and became a cornerstone of socialist thought? Answer: The Communist Manifesto by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. Which beloved children's book by E.B. White features a mouse who navigates life in a human world? Stuart Little. During which century did the Black Death sweep through Europe, drastically reducing its population and reshaping society? Answer: 14th century. Which Chicago gangster, nicknamed Scarface, had his vault excavated live on television by Geraldo Rivera and found to be empty? Al Capone. That's the end of the show. Thanks for listening. Come back tomorrow for more exciting